America's fate at home could be greatly improved by what's happening right now abroad. We have amazing opportunities. In fact, I haven't seen our relative position to our three largest challengers as much to our benefit as they are right now, if we could only stop focusing on each other as the threat. China is the closest to being in a period of civil revolt since I was watching Tiananmen Square in 1989 as a freshman in college. Even in a country where it is very hard to get any real reporting, we understand that COVID restrictions have been a catalyst. You have people protesting there against the oppressive regime. The restrictions there may have delayed first responders, led to almost a dozen deaths in a building that was under lockdown. Now, when I say hundreds are protesting, I get the pushback. Well, there are 1.4 billion Chinese. Yeah, but in China, you don't protest like you can here, okay? It is a fast track to prison or worse, okay? It is nothing like here. So imagine the resolve that takes. Imagine the amount of frustration for people to take a risk that they know can go bad on them. Think about this. If the Chinese demand freedoms, fair wages, imagine what that could mean to the world economic landscape. Imagine how much it could change our productivity. Imagine how much it could advantage us. Right now, our biggest competitor, China, has a labor force hundreds of millions strong with very little say in what they do, how they do it, and what life can offer them. They still regulate how many kids you can have in China. Now, Tiananmen Square, 1989. Why didn't it work? It was largely led by young people, which can be a great catalyst, but they were alone. And the resulting democracy movement, as it was called, was squashed by force and government action, but also lack of consensus and lack of cooperation abroad. There was no widespread buy-in. Allies did use sanctions, but there was not even a muscular effort at soft diplomacy. Maybe it just wasn't the right time. But now, the protests aren't limited to any age or stage. These are working class people who are demanding more control of their own fate. There could be an excellent opportunity for America and her allies to make a difference here, to level the playing field for China and countries competing with China. But we have to be together, and we have to be strategic. And we are neither right now because of our toxic twosome of party politics. Demand better as free agents, as the core of this country. I have a China expert here tonight to discuss the possibilities so you can understand in context what it could mean for us. Another sign of desperation by the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, is what they're doing on Twitter. Did you hear about this? Their trolls and disinformation agents are manipulating searches that are written in Chinese about the protests on Twitter, redirecting the searcher to porn or other nonsense. They are worried about this. Another opportunity, Iran. They are a thorn in America's side constantly, okay? Syria, Israel, Iraq, Afghanistan, Ukraine, everywhere we try to help, they try to hurt. Everywhere that we go in this country to try to make a positive difference, they're there to thwart it. The primary fuel for their extreme Islamism that runs their theocracy is hate for the West. But now the people there see the regime as the real enemy. Again, we haven't seen anything like this since 1979, 10 years before Tiananmen Square in China. Now, that was supposed to be a step towards democracy, right? The Islamic Republic. Now, I argue that that is most often an oxymoron, okay? And it did, in fact, become a march of religious zealots with a bent toward radical Islamic terror. But if the people who are in the streets right now, paying for freedom with blood, if they can overthrow the zealots, imagine the possibilities. America has a chance right now to redesign embargoes to affect the leadership in Iran, not just those already suffering. As we sit mired in our own muck of political discord, our three biggest challengers are in deep discord. Iran, China, and of course, Russia, which has its hands full with Ukraine. And yet we are sitting on our hands with regard to all three of these because we're in this existential battle with ourselves. Imagine if we could get it together and focus all of this political ambition that is misdirected at the other in our party system right now to the real inimical actors. Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of NewsNation's fact-driven coverage.